Tonight is October 10th, and I decided I wanted to show you my fleet of straight SD40's. Conrail had several of these, and they were different variations, and we'll also talk about the Athearn model and things that I don't like about them. So here's a close-up shot. This particular unit, 6245, was released by Athearn a couple years ago. And again, it does not have the MU hoses or cut levers or the cab signal box, which I do have to research that, because some of these SD40's had them and some of them did not, so I have not researched that as of yet. Also, I believe that the sunshade doesn't belong there either, but again, I haven't researched these yet. Also, look at this little nub that sticks out and messes the number scheme up slightly. I believe that is a vent for the cab, but I'm not sure. Close-up of the trucks. Fuel tank. They didn't put the red on the sight glass for the fuel tank and the fuel filler. I'll have to do that at some point. Right now I have 4 SD40's. Athearn released 5 of them. They did these 2 in the first run, and then they did 3 of the special ones with the United Way and the U.S. Savings Bond. I didn't buy the one that had the big United Way poster on it. I didn't really like it, and I wanted to keep an even number. So I have 4. These 2 were released this year in June, I believe it was, and they have the cab signal boxes on it. Okay, now I wanted to point out some prototypical stuff, so I gotta move to a different location. The Conrail SD40's in the 6200 number series have the brakes, the brake wheels, mounted on the back, like that. Okay, now I'm going to show you what the 6300 has. I'm going to move these down just a little bit. These run really smooth and slow. I want to get the last unit in the light here, so. And on the last unit, it has the pump action brake on the front. They did a nice job with this paint scheme. The only problem is they goofed on the numbers, as usual. They're too big. This particular unit, if you look at prototype pictures, have very, very small, unique numbers to Conrail. I'm not sure why, but I'm just going to leave it like it is, because it looks good. And you can see the select-a-power. Good shot of the trucks. This, because it was a later release, has the red paint on the sight glass and the fuel fill. But they did not put the cut levers and MU hoses, and I'm not sure why. They did put the cab signal box on, and the horn and the antenna. Now to something that I really don't like about these units. Everything looks good on them except for one thing, the dynamic brakes. I'm disappointed. These were rail power shells that they used, and the dynamic brakes could look a lot better than they do. The radiators look good on the back, the fans on top look good, which I'll show you in a few minutes, but this dynamic brake is disappointing because it is not correct. It's close, but it's not correct, and it just irritates me, but not enough to not buy the units, because they do look good, except for that. Okay, now for a rooftop view. Again, the fan and the exhaust looks good, the dustbin blower. Fans look really good. These and all the rest of them are the same, so I'm just going to pan down them real quick. And that's my fleet of SD40's.